Hey everyone, it's Lainey. Welcome back. I'm going to be using a combination of Concord and Night cardstock and Spellbinders dies. I have this one here. It seems like I cut off the bottom of what it's called, but this is an older piece from Spellbinders, and it's the dancing leg one, but we're just going to be using the floral arrangement today. I'm not going to be building the girl or using the other elements that come with this. And just to give you a different perspective and a different way to use a die. And I also pulled these from Spellbinders. They're some type of border. I'll turn it over so you can actually see the dies. And some of them go together to help layer. I'm going to be using this large one today. I love this. I've used this so many times, not on my channel, but behind the scenes. I love this one. This one's really nice too, but I really like the width of this die here. Very intricate cuts and detailed. It's very ornate. And then just kind of zooming in there for you so you can kind of see the how it's been used. Okay, so for the colors, we're going to be using similar colors to what is shown right here. It's just different shades of green for the leaves, obviously, and then the flower is pink and white. I'm going to be using 2 shades of pink. We've got Ballet Slipper and Honeysuckle. And then for the greenery, I pulled Parsley and Sprout. I also have some glitter cardstock in gold and green. I kind of want to incorporate those colors as well, and the glitter will add a nice texture to the card. So without further ado, let's get to die cutting. So I've got some scraps pulled now, and how I actually recorded a video and I just need to edit it, but it's going to go into a deeper dive in how I kind of organize and store things. But this is how I've been storing scraps, and I use these also for my finished cards. And you know, you can just fold it if you'd like, but this is how I store my scraps in a divider with the full sheets of the cardstock. So I'm going to take what I have left of my scraps from Parsley. Let's take our flowers out here, and there are 3 different pieces, as you can see. And I need to cut the leaves. Now you'll be able to kind of see what elements we're going to be using. And then also, I think this is the center for the flower. I want to cut these out a couple of times in both the dark and the light. And I actually have these smaller pieces. I think we should probably use these. And this is what I really like about these little pockets. I can keep these little bitty pieces, and I don't know, it's just not like a huge mess or hard to find, you know, the littler cuts like this. So I'm going to use some washi tape here, and let's go ahead and cut both of the leaves out on the dark, and then we will repeat that with the sprout. So I have everything cut out, well, just about. Now I have the center of the flower, and the color and stacking order is going to be like this. I have these 2 paper packs from Joann Fabrics. This is the glitzy metallics, and this gold I think will pair great. So I was thinking about cutting this piece out in the gold, and then also the center for the flowers in the gold as well. I also have this shimmer pastel pack, and I was thinking, let me find it. This green is super close to Sprout. I mean, the only difference is that this has like a slight shimmer to it. I was kind of thinking that I wanted to use this, but I also pulled this darker green, and I think, well, now that I'm looking at that, I think that's the wrong green. So maybe we would only incorporate this lighter shimmer. So actually, let's just go ahead and do that. Let me just cut a little bit of this off, and then I will cut this piece on the shimmer, and then we'll cut these 2 pieces on the gold. So now that I have all these little pieces cut out, let's go ahead and get this part cut out as well. And I'm going to cut this out in white. So I'm going to bring in 110-pound cardstock, and we'll align it like so. Just put a little tape there and go ahead and get this cut out as well, and then we'll start building our card. And I'm going to run this through twice just to ensure that all those little pieces get a good cut. Excuse that noise. So keeping everything on my cutting plate right now. Oh, perfect. A lot of them just popped out. So let me grab a tool here and let's see. Poke out the rest of the little pieces that are stuck in the die. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Just got one little guy there. Stuck. Okay, and that is what it looks like. How beautiful. Like, seriously, I'm obsessed. So, so pretty. All right, so for all these little pieces, I'm going to bring in my lint roller. That we'll see how well it works. I need to get a cleaner sheet. But I'm just running it directly on that cutting mat, so all those little pieces can just kind of get stuck down. I got to get a new sheet here because this one was already kind of full before I did that. So let me get a new sheet, and then I'll get the rest of this. And yeah, if you haven't tried this, definitely do. It is so helpful. Bringing in my card panel, this is an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to work on this, and then we will cut it down. So I just need to really just find placement and then glue these together. And if you wanted, you could definitely build this up with more layers of cardstock, or even building it up with white. But since I'm using Concord and 9th, it is quite thick. It is a heavier cardstock. So I am just going to have one layer there. Okay, so gluing that ballet slipper on top of that honeysuckle, and now let's do the center flower. And if you wanted, you could also manipulate the petals and kind of fold them up to give more of like a 3D effect. Okay, and let me get my wax tip here and see how this looks. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to cut out another one of these little circles because I like that layering and that dimension with that added little circle there. But for right now, let's just go ahead and add a little glue to the center of both of these flowers and get this attached. And then I guess we can go ahead and just do this one because we've already got that little piece and I don't want to lose it. Okay. So setting those aside and letting those dry. For this, I'm going to use spray adhesive, so I'm going to have to do that outside. I'm thinking that we're just going to kind of make this centered. Let's kind of play with it. And then kind of have the greenery around that. Yeah, I think that that is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to spray this with spray adhesive, and I'll be right back. I need to do it outside because it gets fumes everywhere, and I don't want to mess up my stuff. needing to move fast here, grabbing my tweezers, and let's glue this down. Trying to get it center aligned here. And of course, straight. Okay. And that is glued down. Before I start building up my card, I want to go ahead and trim down my panel so I have the dimensions right, you know, just for a better visual. So let's move that stuff aside a bit and let's trim this down. What I'm thinking is I'm going to trim off 1/8 of an inch on both sides just so we can have that clean lattice work there. Clean cut on that. Okay, and so that's measuring at 4. And now let's just do that again. Let's just remove 1/8 of an inch from the top and the bottom. And then I'll see how that looks. And we can raise the flowers as well. Let me see. I've got just a few left on these. So let's use those before I open up some new ones. And they're from Dollar Tree. And let me just kind of play with this a bit. So maybe we could elevate the larger flower, and I really did a bad job with these little centers. They're not center aligned. They're off. Okay. So maybe, like I said, have the larger flower elevated with the pop dots and have this one kind of underneath it, or maybe vice versa. Let's go ahead and elevate our first flower, or our largest flower, and make this permanent, and then we can fill in the spaces with those leaves. I really like these pop dots from Dollar Tree because they're not too thick. And I didn't go all the way to the edge because I want to make room for the stems of the leaves. So just, I'm going to take off all the backers. Okay. Okay, I'm making the larger flower permanent there. And now let's see how these, let me get my tweezers. I think that'll be easier for me to manage. Right, maybe something like that. So the leaves are interacting with both flowers, because this one was kind of lonely before. I love that gold accent. I think that it is perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to start making these little leaves here permanent. So I'm going to come in with the green. Let's move this one out of the way. My tweezers have that spray adhesive on them, so it's kind of sticking to the paper. I need to clean them off. Let's reposition. Okay, perfect. Just gonna press those down just to help it get adhered. Okay, and now let's go ahead and make our smaller flower permanent. And not allowing the glue to go to the very edge in case I want to, you know, fit another leaf or something underneath that. I'll have a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. I think my favorite part is this little gold piece here. And I got a little glue on the panel. So I'm just going to take my tool here and kind of scrape that off. It does dry clear, but I've said before that I do not like that clear residue. You can still see it. So, you know, because it shines a bit. I don't really know about this piece, but I'm just going to have it there and I can move it if I don't like it. I'm going to take that lighter green because I want this one a little underneath the darker green leaf because on this side it's the opposite. And press that down. Okay, I'm going to remove these. Yeah, we definitely need at least one of them, and I keep wanting to kind of put it up here somewhere. So let's just quit thinking about it and make a decision. All right, so this is what we have, and I'm loving the colors. I'm not quite sure. Maybe we just need some embellishments. So I'm just going to stop here. Let's go ahead and put the pin in the glue real quick. I have 2 more of these little pieces if I need to use them, but let's just start building up our card, play with some embellishments, and then, you know, go from there. So taking my favorite foam tape from Hobby Lobby and going to build up the panel. Okay, make sure that it's right side up. Straightening my card base on my glass mat and sorry if my head was in the way. I think this is so pretty. And that is what we have. So you can just see in person, probably on camera too, you can see, but the lattice is just a subtle touch because it's white on white, but it has so much detail. And yeah, I really like adding this as a background. And you could do the entire panel if you wanted. There's so many options that you have with this die set. I think that it's really done. Like I said, I still have these, but let me pull some embellishments and see. And then we don't have a sentiment. I don't think I'm going to put a sentiment on this. So that's going to be very different from a traditional card. Okay, let me pull some supplies and quit talking. So I pulled 2 different types of embellishments, both from Hobby Lobby. These adhesive gems I really like. It's kind of a light amber. It doesn't have the name of the color, but they're from Paper Studio. I really like these, but it's almost like maybe too matchy because of the gold accents. And then I've got the pearls in 3 different sizes. Once again, Hobby Lobby. And I think I'm going to go with the pearls. Maybe we'll do a trio down here. Kind of have them spread out. All right, so added some more. I'm going to leave it as is. Let's bring this in again and see. So should the leaf be there? Should it not? I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I'm not going to make it permanent. And as for the sentiment, I am just going to leave the card as is. And if I just need a random card, I can put whatever sentiment I want on the inside there. So, you know, essentially making this card very universal. Granted, it is more feminine because of the flowers and the colors, but the sentiment can go in so many different directions, and I'll have that option in the future. So this is the finished card using Concord and Ninth cardstock, little pearl embellishments, and spellbinders dies. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.